I became a nurse back in '07. And when I first came out of nursing school, I was told that I needed to just go right into like a med surge type of deal because everybody advised me, including my instructors, not to specialize. So they said, hey, listen, don't specialize when you first come out because if you do that, what happens is you're going to kind of just be stuck, right? Being that particular type of nurse. So I went ahead and I went with everybody's, advice, which was not to specialize. So I wind up on a medical surgical floor. Met some incredible women there, but it was really, really hard. I cannot lie. Like working on a floor 12 hours a day, and 12 hours is not really 12 hours. In fact, it's actually more like 13 hours, 13 and a half, because you have to commute there. Once you get there, you have to actually take report, and then you can't leave until after you report off to the fellow nurse that's coming on board to take your group of clients. So it's a really, really long day. But nonetheless, I was in my 20s. I was able to do it just fine, not a big deal. So I worked on the medical surgical floor for 5 years, a personal care home where we housed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a group of 6 senior citizens. And I learned so much. It was my very first business that I had ever opened. And again, I learned so much. But one of the things that I really understood pretty quickly was two things. The first thing was the business in the actual house that the business was in, it was really far, right? And so my commute with no traffic was like an hour. And so that was really tough. The other thing is, I realized I didn't want to be in a space where I was doing a business that never closed because housing, senior citizens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that simply means that you will never get a chance to really have a break because you're always on call, so to speak, right? There's always an opportunity for someone to call you and say something happened. And so again, I realized pretty quickly I did not want to come into another business that didn't close. What I decided to do was sell. Janelle and I, who was my business partner at the time, we decided to sell Humble Abode. So we sold Humble Abode and we walked away. And in the interim of that, I had stopped working on the floor as a direct patient care nurse and I got into sales. So my very first sales driven, and you're not even driven, but if you're okay with sales, right? And you're okay with numbers, then I would definitely say that that's a good position because it does give you some great flexibility. Now that we can never deny, you work kind of from your home office, which is really your vehicle, if you will. So there's not the whole association of going to the office, clocking in, you can't leave until a certain time, you have to be there a certain time. There's none of that with home health and being a home care specialist, which was really, really nice. And that's why I stayed for about 3.5, almost 4 years doing that.